Hello, pratfalls and punch boys. My name is TV Sky, and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV, where I finally made it to the fated destination of Heavensward, the place I've been trying to get for 150 hours, which I have been desperate to finally reach. Now I've decided that I'm gonna go do Realm Reborn content for a while. Because I have, if you remember, if you were watching this series for long enough, I have the Pugilist class that I leveled for a bit, which I got up to like level 30 or something, and now in between grinding up my grinding my way to Heavensward mostly with my warrior, I've also just been running around as the Pugilist, punching things, doing the hunting logs, and leveling up. So now my Pugilist is level 50, and it sort of occurs to me that maybe at this point I should take the time to go and collect the soul stone thing to turn him into a monk. Because it's a little silly to be running around as a level 50 pugilist. Hey, there's my glasses. I've been wondering where they were. So, Jane, were you even editing my videos back when I last did a monk quest or a pugilist quest? I'm not 100% sure you were, but if you were, let the people know. Because I sure as hell don't remember. I also don't remember what voice I gave to that idiot Haman.
I swear each time I see you, you remind me more and more of my younger self. At this rate, you're like to transform into a handsome devil before the moon's over. Now then, I believe you're here to learn. Unfortunately, I'm in no condition to teach. This is rather embarrassing to admit, but in my eagerness to prepare for the big rematch, I've overtrained and thrown my back out. I tell you, old age is hellish. I fear Chachuna will have to tend to you in my stead instead.
It seems the prospect of facing his old rival has lit a veritable fire under Master Haman's backside. I'm so relieved to see that he has a purpose again. The trick now is to keep a lid on his seal, lest he injure himself. But let us speak of your lesson. When you're ready, come and meet me at the Dal Amigo. I have a challenge in mind that you're certain to find stimulating.
Well, okay then. Are we having main quest progression today? No, AAA, I'm sorry, not today. I have some things I left behind in Realm Reborn that I need to get out of the way, and I do want to try and level up the Lancer to get the Dragoon class.
So that is what we're doing for a while.
I've been waiting for you, Brick. Today, your training will be to prepare for Master Haman's training. I brought with me a set of striking dummies, and I want you to deploy them at certain locations. Lest you think this task to be drudgery, the locations are rife with peril. Your skills will most certainly be put to the test. By way of advice, if you must approach dangerous fiends, lightness of foot is your greatest ally. Now off with you, Brick. Go set up those striking dummies. I shall await your return.
Oh yes, I'm sure that the monsters in this quest will be very dangerous indeed. And this shall truly be a difficult trial for my for my fledgling abilities. Oh no, they're level 26. Oh no, they're gonna attack me. Oh no. Oh no. Monsters. Scary undead.
Excellent work, Brick. All that's left is to have Master Haman come and train.
Oh, is that his rival guy?
What are you doing here? That adventurer is a negative influence on Master Haman. I'm going to see to it he never bothers him again. What are you talking about? Brick's the best thing that's happened to Master in years. If you want a piece of him, you'll need to deal with me, too.
In my head, it's like Brick is like the warrior of light and one of the most powerful beings in Eorzea. But here he's just like pretending like, oh no, I'm just a weak and simple trainee. I can't do anything.
Why, Rurukuta? Why are you so bent on bringing Master Haman and seeing the guild in ruins? You have it all wrong. I'm doing this for the Master's own sake. It's true. I left the guild for the shock of seeing Master in that pathetic state. And it's true I got involved with some unsavory types, but where else was I supposed to go? Me? A refugee without a guild to his name. But for all the ungrateful things I've done, I've never forgotten how Master Haman took me in and instructed me in the ways of the fist. This is why I want him to give up his foolish notion of facing Wreckfire. You don't know that man like I do, Chuchuko. So, should this fight come to pass, I fear Master won't walk away with his life. It doesn't matter that Master has grown weak and feeble. I just want him to live, even if it means him having to swallow his pride.
Oh, Rukuda, why didn't you just say so? But now that I know your mind, I can say with confidence that you have no cause to fear. Brick is not the plague you think he is. It's his will to succeed that's inspiring Master to regain his former strength. And when the day of the rematch finally comes, I've no doubt he will wallop that odious Wreckfire into the 7th hell and back.
I pray you're right. But whatever happens, I know that I cannot help you. Not where I am. Chuchito, Brick, I leave Master Haman in your care.
The edgy short one, if I haven't, is a design review. Okay, sure. Oh, man. If you just redeemed that a second earlier when he was still turned in the right direction. Shit, I can't turn around. No, don't walk away! No! Okay, he'll be back.
Gosh, that felt liberating. Trading blows with Rukuda and learning his true agenda. A great burden has been lifted off my chest. Let us return to the guild, Brick. You've had your training, and now it's time for Master Haman's.
You can finish the quest and look at him in the unending journey. Ah, yes, I could do that.
Okay, here's a pro tip for Lancer. The pointy end of the stick faces towards the enemy. Learned that one the hard way.
That is good advice. What in the film? That is good advice indeed. He was scared of the review. Yeah, I suspect he'll be back. Like, he's a major NPC in this quest line. I'm very slowly beginning to remember what the fuck is even going on in these quests.
Welcome back, Brick. I'm told you kindly set up some dummies for me. By gosh, man, did you have to put them in such dangerous places? To make matters worse, Chuchicho hid my grog and said I won't see a drop of it till I finish my training. How in the hell is I supposed to lose my phlegm now? That girl will make a fine guild master when the time comes. I heard about Rukuda as well, of course. For all the shortcomings, the boy has a good heart. But while his concern is touching, I won't run from Wreckfire. Not today, and not ever. On that note, I'd best get ready for my little jaunt to Alamigo. If I can't face down a few mindless beasts, I'm in no shape to challenge Wreckfire. Don't slack off, Brick, or I'll leave you in my dusty wake.
Ooh, weapon skill.
I'm pleased to say I managed to whack all the dummies. You did well to deploy them where you did, son. Thanks to you, I almost got killed several times. But what doesn't kill you only makes you stronger, and I'm feeling stronger than I have in ages. As a matter of fact, I reckon I'm not far from regaining my former strength. One last step will get me there, and I will take it by having another bout with you, Brick. I want you to meet me out in the Sagoli Desert, at a settlement called Forgotten Springs. The place is home to the most luscious Mikote maidens this side of Eorsia. God, I can't wait to look at their lovely forms again. Yeah, this landscape takes me back, it does. Sand as far as the eye can see, crystal clear spring waters cooling your feet. Scantily clad lasses giggling as they bathe and frolic.
You're gonna make it very enjoyable to punch you, you know.
Yeah, I remember these things, but my body's forgotten the seamless combinations that earned me the epithet of Holy Fist. That's why I'd have you enter, Brick. Sparring with you is what first got me back into the swing of things. Now it's time to finish the job, but before we begin, some warming up is in order. I want you to take yourself across the dunes to the south and defeat 5 sandworms. I'll be waiting for you here. What, don't I need to warm up too? Oh, don't worry, I had mine long before you arrived. Those enormous buggers never knew what hit them. If you don't want to be outdone by this old man, you'd best run along and give him more of the same.
Okay.
So you seen to the sandworms? Marvelous. Now the real training can begin. Thanks to you, I've managed to get most of my stamina back. I'm confident that I can go the distance with the fittest of them. But if I'm to defeat Wekfar, I'll need more than just endurance. I'll need to remember how each strike transitions to the next, and you're going to help me refresh my memory by pummeling the sense back into me.
Oh, you need the echo to see the number. Yeah.
Hit me, Brick, with everything you got.
Okay.
I've got it. As a river flows to the sea, heedless of all that bars its path, so too must our combinations be. Oh, that even rhymes. Thank you, Brick. The raging torrents of your blows has been a strike of lightning to my brain case. I remember everything.
Master, it's Wekfar. The man is back in Ul'dah. He's demanding that you fight him now.
So it begins. Very well. I will go settle the score with Wekfar. He'll be the first to know that the Holy Fist has returned.
I did just beat the snot out. Do you want, like, a day? To, like, no? Okay. Well, sure. Okay, fair enough. Hey, the little edgy boy's there.
Didn't expect you to come so soon, if at all. You sure you want to go ahead with this? I'm a man of reason, and I'd sooner not have to hurt you. Just give up now, and we can put an end to this mummer's farce. You can live out the rest of your days in peace.
The only mummer's farce I see is a man trying to squirm out of his own self-wrought challenge. Well, I'm going to make you the same offer. Walk away, and you won't get hurt.
They say Haman Holyfist is going to perform his legendary technique.
Right here on the avenue? Is it safe?
I see age has robbed you of your wits as well as your strength. Well, if you're so eager for pain, who am I to deny it to you? Rest, just remember, there ain't no going back once your head goes flying.
Okay, but can I get a look at the little guy, though? Ooh, nice little model swap there.
You suck old times. Hey, Wekfar.
Hurrah! Did you see that? Because I sure as hell didn't. It was too fast.
You should have kept punching him while he was down. Just saying.
No, this can't be. I refuse to be beaten by a senile old fool.
Drugs are bad, kids.
Get your horses out here, all of you.
Do some dialogue. Say something so that I can...
Guess you're wondering, that was Pluto.
You smoked the dog?
Just a draft of it and your body turns horizon. Not even blades can pierce it.
Stubborn bugger.
There we go.
Rakura, but why?
Now we can get a look at him. So, little Captain Edgelord here. There was a design review requested a while back. So, little Captain Edgelord here, like, the number one thing, of course, is the white hair. Like, that's sort of, especially in, like, anime terms and, anime-inspired games with anime-inspired visuals, like, having the bright shock of white hair, if the character's not meant to be old, that's the thing that sort of make them stand out. That's your Ansems and Rikus from Kingdom Hearts. It's your sort of like celestial beings and like strange otherworld. It's that thing. It's like a hair color that when it is contrasted with the rest of the character design, is designed to make the character stand out, which happens on Rurakuta here because he mostly wears dark colors, right? Like his skin is a relatively darker tone, like especially compared to Chuchito over there. He's got like this dark purple, he's got the brown, he's got like the black sash thing going on. He mostly wears fairly dark colors, which allows the hair to stand out very strongly as like a contrast and become this thing that like marks him out as like, oh. And that's where you kind of go, like, especially again if you compare to Chuchito, however the hell you pronounce her name, like where she is like very standard dressed as like a monk apprentice thing with like what looks like a very NPC-ass outfit, essentially, right? This kid over here looks way more like he was sort of designed to be the protagonist of an anime or something, right? Like he has, yeah, I know, like as one of Fullbeast points out, that white hair is completely common in Final Fantasy XIV, but as a character design feature, it is still a thing that like carries a certain like level of semiotics when it is applied with intention, right? 90% of the Scions have white hair. Yes, and that is a part of their character design as well. Like that's part of what ties them aesthetically together as a group of exceptional individuals that stand apart from the crowd. Whereas you'll notice, if you look at all the common NPCs, like all the normal ass NPCs in the background, like, they're designed to be unremarkable, right? Like, look at the two we've got here. We've got the lady over there, we've got the dude over there. Neutral earth tones, like, sort of, like, very sort of downplayed colors. The white here acts as essentially kind of a blank slate in the clothing. Like, it acts as a neutral nothing color that means nothing, that says nothing. And that's all designed to make them, like, fade into the background, where they're like, low contrast designs and like, flat, compared to, like, even Master Haman, who isn't exactly the most spectacular design ever, still has that thing of that little flash of yellow color on his thing. But, like, it's a very basic, like, this character is meant to be seen as an edgelord design, which is, of course, helped by the fact that he's wearing, like, dark eyeshadow above his eyes, which, like, darkens the eyes and makes his pupils pop out more, like that bright, piercing blue. It's very standard, like, anime edge boy thing.
I refuse to fight on the side of cheats.
Say your prayers to whatever gods you keep. By the time I'm finished, not even your mother will recognize you.
You did it, Master Haman! You won!
Master.
No, church it up. We won. This victory wasn't mine alone.
Holy fisticuffs! That was incredible! You wiped the avenue with those cute crooks!
I'm gonna tell my grandchildren tales of what happened here.
Our work here's done. Let's all go home to the guild.
Ah, that Lalafell walk cycle. It's so adorable. And it kind of makes sense that they're like sort of performatively taking really huge steps, because that's the only goddamn way they can keep up with everybody else, right? Wait, what was that? Those are some adorable bunny ears. Highland Barding. Oh, Chocobo gear. Cool, thank you. Those are some genuinely very adorable bunny ears, actually. Oh, that's really cute. It's really cute. And that goes well with the outfit, too, actually, somehow. Weirdly. I think it's the color coordination between them that kind of makes it work. Yeah. Oh, that's cute. I like the red gem in the middle, too. That's good contrast. Cool. Cool character design. Anyway, what are we doing?
I want to thank you again, Brick. It's because of you I was able to rekindle my fighting spirit and conquer my demons. Perhaps more importantly, Rurakuta's come to her senses and Chuchito's back to her bubbly self.
Please forgive me, Master. I'll have no more to do with the Alacran. I'll roam the land till I find myself and strive to become a great pugilist like you.
You've only just returned and you're leaving us already? I don't suppose there's aught I can say that'll change your mind. But if you ever want for company or a sparring partner, know that you're always welcome here.
Youthful vigor is truly a blessed thing. Go well, my boy. There's not a doubt in my mind that you'll do me proud. As for you, Breaker, your combinations were a sight to behold, and right painful to receive. In helping me with my training, you've come into your own as a pugilist. The time's ripe that I taught you this technique that won me countless battles on the blood sands. I call it Demolish. Unleashed when in the Carol form, it combines powerful punches and kicks that'll send your opponent reeling. You've grown strong, Brick, but your journey as a pugilist is far from over. To get as far as I have, you'll have to overcome many and more trials and tribulations. But whatever challenges threaten to block your way, I'm confident that you'll be able to blaze yourself a path. As long as your spirit burns bright and your fists fly with conviction, there's nothing you can't achieve. I'm the living proof. Forge onward, young one, and create a legend for yourself, never to be forgotten.
Thank you. Is this worth anything for glamming? Nope. No, it is not. No, oh boy, it super isn't. Nope, absolutely not. Yeah, Bellatrix, I'm sorry, I don't play on NA servers.
Brother from another mother.
Tell me, do you know Professor Eric? He's a scholar of Amorcian military history whose genius is second to none, and he is among our most valued clients.
Is there a reason why I don't play in NA? It's because I live in Europe.
Some find him to be verbose, tedious, haughty, but never mind all that. The man spends more gil on the moon's research than most people see in a lifetime, hence our amicable relations. His latest work has him visiting the sites of ancient battlefields. He insists on surveying lands plagued by savage beasts. According to him, the beasts keep man away, and less intrusions by man means greater preservation. Whatever his reasons, should the professor meet an untimely fate, we will be unable to collect the gil he has borrowed, much less the interest. Oh, and it would be a terrible loss for the academic community and so on and so forth. Yes, yes. The point is, the man must needs be guarded. To that end, I sent a monk of Alamigo to see to his safety, but it turns out the bloody oaf has no work ethic about him. Just like an... Okay. Just like an Alamigan.
Cool it with the racism there, buddy. Is it racism, or is it more like national discrimination?
The professor cannot focus on his work if he feels endangered, and so has demanded we assign him a new bodyguard. That's why I'm so glad to see you, Brick. The professor is awaiting his new escort as we speak, and I'd like for it to be you. You are yet a mere pugilist.
Fuck you.
Perhaps this task would provide some insight into what the monkhood does around here. Make for the Goldsmiths Guild and there seek out the good Professor Eric. The professor claims he'll pay his debt and the fees for his protection once his research is complete. See to it that our investment doesn't end up being under the paw or in the maw of some nasty beast.
I love to be an accomplished martial artist whose job... Hello. Whose job it is to like, be muscle for hire. Ooh, hello. So I believe that was the right user. Yes, it was. Okay. All right. Oh, that's a lovely... That's the... Oh, so, okay, so that's a red mage, then. With the rapier, I assume. That is the Exarchic Code of Casting. Cool. Cool name. Let's see. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so there's some good choices happening here. So, like, the coat, specifically, has, like, all of this ornamentation on it, right? Like, the stuff around the neck, obviously, but also all these, like, little edge decorations and, like, these little embroideries and all that thing, stuff like that. And then... very smartly, I don't know if this is because it's the Arbor set or whatever, but the pants are just a flat black with like very little detailing. Like there's a little bit of cross, like there's a little bit of stitching, there's a little bit of like the things going across there. But like the coat has the majority of like the detailing. It has all of this sort of flash and style shit on it, and then like pairing that with some pants that don't take any attention away from that, that allows this thing to shine as a centerpiece of the design. which is a good decision. Like that's another way to use, like, if you have like one armor piece that you really... Is that Fran? Well, it's a pretty close cosplay. If you have like one armor piece that you really love, like a jacket or a coat or like something, what you can do is you can just surround it with stuff that's neutral or that's kind of downplayed and that doesn't distract from it. And that helps highlight the piece that you love, and that makes that more of a statement piece rather than like if you have like, imagine if she was wearing like just a million tons of details, like a super detailed helmet or a hat, like pants that are all glamorous and like shit like that. The coat wouldn't stand out, so it wouldn't be the center of attention. But that's very well done. Like that's smartly done to sort of keep that just the coat as the major detail. And like I do like white is white is also a good base color to work from because it's not a color, it's a contrast. But white and black are good because they go with everything, right? Like you can basically surround those colors with anything you want and it'll work. But we've got the red accent and the gold here, and that works with a red hairstyle. Like red and gold are good together. White and gold are good together. It's like the color coordination is on point here. It's a really solid outfit. Yeah, cool. That Viera is my alt. I thought I'd try to bring her here instead of Clive for a change. Oh, so it's so the Soul Spear thing is it's the family name. It really did kind of freak me out for a second. It's like, what the hell? What's Fran doing here? But I guess you can just make her.
Which is neato.
My punch-prone manservant, I presume. You may and shall call me Eric. You are to guard my life, even at the cost of your own, and aid in my revolutionary research whenever and however asked. Know that my primary endeavor is to construct the military histories of old through ethereal analysis of ancient battlegrounds. I assume the words conjure in your simple mind romantic images of vast plains and open valleys with armies charging blindly at one another. False! I seek to know where the armies of old were deployed, where they made camp and marched. No doubt you think such lands to be sung of in the songs of Bart. False! They are here, beneath our very feet, and to find them and determine precisely how events unfolded in them is my purpose. No doubt you jumped at the chance to aid me in my work. Tell me, which of my treatises have you read? All of... None? Gosh, I knew your adventurers had a reputation of being unlettered. I didn't know you actually made efforts to remain so. It matters not. I only require that you work with diligence. Unlike that Whitagelt buffoon, the man proved to be sloth itself. Alas, he is a monk of Alamigo. I suppose the fool was too busy opening his chakra, or whatever it is those barbarians do all day.
Wow, with the fucking description, like, okay, like, you know what, Eric? I'm getting this really weird premonition that you're gonna have a nasty accident somewhere along the way. Just, oh no, a monster came out of nowhere, and I couldn't do anything, you know, it's just happened so fast, you know, and I'm just a stupid pugilist. What was I supposed to do?
I admit he seemed keenly interested in my research, but now he's gone off to 12 knows where and has yet to return. Do you understand the sheer magnitude of this inconvenience? Good, you show that much promise at least. But let us speak more of my work. Our first destination is the Sildi excavation site in central Thanalan. I believe events of great import to the history of Sildi transpired there. Oh, surely, if you have ears, you've heard of Sildi, or are you as deaf as well as dull? Very well, I see you require some instruction. It would be remiss of me as an academic to allow you to wallow in such ignorance. Sildi was plunged into chaos in the wake of King Lolif's demise, or the King of Springs, as he was known. Despite the success of reform, fermented unrest from hadn't been for that horse.
Fascinating, is it not? It is enough to convince one things could not have happened any other way, no?
False!
One among my colleagues disagreed with my interpretation of events. He claimed to have evidence suggesting otherwise, but all trace of it disappeared before it was published.
Mine own research shall unearth any such evidence that should it truly exist. I shall know the truth.
Granted, you are not the brightest curl in the brazier, but surely such a prospect entices even you. And so we make for the Sildi evacuation site in central Thanalan. Travel the way before me to see that it is safe, and once there, set up this Erothama. And should you ever care to know more of Eorzean military history, do come and see me. It is a personal crusade of mine to guide the dullards of this realm towards some modicum of enlightenment. Oh, he's fun. Love him. There is that little, like, narrative dissonance, right? Like, ludonarrative dissonance of, like, or, well, not new ludonarrative, but just narrative dissonance that, like, not 5 minutes ago, I was, like, one of the most famous people in all of Eorzea, and now some highly educated jackass is talking down to me. He's telling me to go do shit for him. Not that I mind it at all.
Well done. Well, we only need to wait for the etherometer to gauge the... Huh? There are fiends about Brick. They are often drawn to the lingering sense of blood and death. Well, this is what you're here for. Have at it.
Is this where the monk shows up? Hey, Brick, you know, when enemies are charging up attacks, maybe you should move. There he is. Is that good? Oh, are we doing third eye bullshit? Oh, we're doing third eye bullshit.
So good of you to drag yourself all this way, you purblind sluggard. And Brick, you far exceeded what is admittedly low expectations I had of you. I suppose introductions are in order. Far be it from me to deny the realms unread the comfort of one another's company. Widageld, Brick, Widageld, the monk I spoke of, sent to me by Gagaruna. I tried to make a pupil of Widageld as well, but he has little mind for history. His primitive beliefs in the witchcraft of chakra and spiritual energies have a tenacious hold on him. Oh, truly? This is the area where there have been sightings of walking dead? I have heard the tales. Some claim they've seen an apparition wearing the garb of an ancient commander.
Careful. There are still dangers about. His work is dear to him. That is good. He thirsts for knowledge, for truth. Discovery awakens him. You too have awoken, friend. Can you not feel it? Do not be frightened. Here was a battle, long ago. Much energy remains. It has found you. It flows through you. Your chakra has been opened. This was the light that shone from you. It is as Eric said. Widageld is my name. I am a brother of the monkhood. My order is the Fist of Ralgar. Our way is to train the body and mind. The fist is our weapon. With it we put down our enemies. The energy within us moves the fist. The chakra is the seat of that energy. It is a sacred place. It can be opened and the life force within controlled. Chakra exists in all that lives, in all beings. Yet not all beings can open them. Much training is needed, and great discipline. With these, the life force can be commanded. There are those who require no training. Their inner strength is such that it forces the chakra open. I have heard of this happening, but never have I seen it. Until now. I see in you great conviction. You mean to walk the monk's path, and so I will give this, a soul crystal, the mark of my order. I love the way your chakra opens, babe. I mean, the thing about being the Warrior of Light is that it turns out that you're the chosen one of every profession that there exists. You are just the chosen one of all of the prophecies. None but a monk may hold it, and only then with the order's leave. But your chakra is awakened. That is clear. And so you are worthy. Many bore that crystal before you. It remembers them, their breath, and their movement. They will one day be yours. But your chakra must open further. Only then can the crystal's memories enter you. I love to be entered by the memories of a crystal. Just love to have things entering me all the time. That's primary activity outside of work. Don't clip that out of context. This is no more than the beginning. Now you must train. Learn to control the life force within you. With time, you will master it. We stand on an ancient battleground. A great war was waged here. The spirit of the fight lingers. The ether reaches for the chakra. It aids in their opening. That is why we monks seek such lands. Ares seeks these lands for reasons of his own. The fates favor you in this. Follow him. Your chakra will grow even more. Chakra isn't like a metaphor. Like, it's not an innuendo for something, right? Great warrior, you must grow your hog to unreasonable proportions. Professor Eric is leaving. Fear not. I will see to his safety. Please, brother, the etherometer. Gather it and bring it to the Goldsmiths Guild. Given Brick is being a himbo, what are the chances he's just thinking this is a come-on? Oh, absolutely. Like, he's like, is that guy flirting with me? I feel like he's flirting with me. Oh, can't equip it yet. Fair enough. Don't himbo usually never assume as a come-on? It depends. There's many kinds of himbo. And, like, some of them are, like, some himbos are completely pure and pure-hearted and, like, must be beaten over the head with, like, direct speech. Like, no, I want to fuck you before they'll get it. And then other himbos are, like, everything is innuendo. Like, they're just down. Wherever when I should go to the Etherite. Wherever, whenever. Like, there's slut himbos, right? Like, there's slut himbos and then there's like, innocent himbos. And many other himbo subclasses besides. Like, there's a whole... I'm sure someone has a spreadsheet somewhere.
Well, look who's decided to grace us with his presence. Did you enjoy the saunter back? I was just about to begin my analysis, so if you've matters you wish to speak on, I'd ask that you save it for...
Hey, Gwyn! Thank you for that resubscription. That's very kind of you.
You brought the etherometer. Excellent. I had a feeling you might not be entirely useless. Now, let us see what discoveries await. Wintergeld passed along a soul crystal to you. Moved to join the monkhood by the bone-headed clod, were you? Well, I suppose it is for the best that my pupils get along. But I do believe I will see to it that you are sent to separate locations for the next round of measurements, and I dare say the land to which I intend to send you is fraught with dangers. You had best tread the monk's path quickly if you mean to defend yourself. And me besides.
Oh no, level 35. That's gonna take so long. Oh, like, I don't... Man, we're gonna have to grind forever. Guided by the souls of monks. Pugilist monk is one of those classes that's really annoying to level because your entire rotation changes at certain levels. Oh no! Oh no! Oh, I don't like that. That's annoying.
Ah, just the pupil I was hoping to see. I was a hair's breadth from setting out on my own. To look at you, yes, I dare say you appear to have been growing in brawn at the expense of brain. Right, well, let us measure some ether, shall we? And by we, I mean you. Oh, and the monk, simpleton, of course. Though contrary to his nature, he has already set out for the destination I assigned him. Thinking perhaps that you are far too stupid to take, much less understand etheric readings? It is true, you are stupid, but the etherometer shall do all the work for you and transmit the data back to me. Jesus Christ. Souls more suited to action, the monk, simpleton, yourself need only carry the device on your person and set about beating on things as you always do. It shall capture data as you trudge about hither and yon. Ether is not only the source of all magics, but it's also the fount of all life. Yet despite its ubiquity, it remains imperceptible. When a living thing dies, the ether comprising its life is released. When this discharge takes place, a portion of that ether remains, lingering in the physical world. No doubt you have ethereal crystallization the ethereal threshold. In short, the more violent and dramatic the loss of life, the greater the amount of ether left behind, either in its imperceptible form or in crystallizations. And where are the most lives lost in this manner? Cemeteries? No! False! You idiot! Battlefields. Do you not see? With etheric readings of those locations, we can discern the scale and more of the battles that took place there. As for those fool beliefs the monkhood keeps, chakra and spiritual energies and whatnot, if I were to allow that they truly exist, I would be inclined to say that they are one and the same as ether itself. The ether churning around in these ancient battle sites comes to naturally settle in surrounding life, both plant and animal, though more so in the latter. It accumulates within them. Felling these beasts then releases that ether, causing a surge that resonates with the ether within you, causing it to expand. The so-called opening of the chakras. By this, the very power of life itself grows within you. A watered-down explanation, but adequate for one of your mental prowess, I believe. Mine own wife never had the patience for such things either, nor my passion. She cursed me and my work, took our children, and returned to Alamigo.
It does make sense that he is incredibly divorced.
But now is not the time for that tale. The area I am placing in your charge is Bloodshore in eastern Lenosha. Place this etherometer in an appropriate location, and after a spell, retrieve it and bring it to me. I obtain the data I require, and you and the monk simpleton are afforded the chance to indulge your... how shall I put it? Your charming little backward fantasies. All are happy. Ideally, I would prefer you have a knowledgeable understanding of Bloodshore's history, but I fear we lack the time for me to educate you. I need hardly tell you that my research takes precedence over your schooling.
Do we get to punch him at some point? Be nice to punch him at some point. BDE, big divorced energy. I see you've got enough gil to buy a house. Do I? I kind of feel like I don't. I've seen the prices that those things go for.
Have you brought the etherometer?
3 million for a small one. Okay.
It seems the device has suffered some damage. I suppose such things are unavoidable in this line of work. I must see to its repair at once. After all, that is why I put up here the Goldsmith's Guild. My etherometer is no ordinary device. I came up with the elaborate design myself. Had the finest engineers at Garland Ironworks draft the schematics and then commissioned the most talented goldsmiths to fabricate it. Wiedergeld delivered the results of his outing not long ago. I must insist that you take leave of me now. There's a wealth of data for me to analyze, and I fear that simply having you nearby will somehow affect the processing power of my brain. Repairing the etherometer and determining which locations to go to next to investigate will require some time. Why don't you go and train those muscles of yours or whatever it is you do in my absence?
Yay! Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Yes, super style. Thank you for the reminder. We will do your thing in just an itty bit. Someone thunderclap Brick's ass, not without lube. Okay. So we got a streetwear thing going on here. Ooh. Oh, it's an Ifrit jacket. Oh, well, that comports really nicely with the axe. Yeah, that works. Like Ifrit jacket, then like the big fiery... I guess it's the Phoenix weapon? Looks like. But no, that works well. That works really well. Like also with the headgear, like that sort of like a flame on your face. That's really nice. Yeah, that works. Yeah, that's like really good theming. That's really nice. Like especially like in terms of like making it sort of cohere in the sense of like, because it would be easy for like modern streetwear fashion to kind of clash with the fantasy weapons, right? But like you bring it together well, like using the little like the sort of the thematic elements of like the jacket and the headgear to sort of bridge the gap into the big fantasy acts from like the modern looking fashion. Yeah. Oh, that's really cool. That's well done. If you're looking for any feedback, I'd say that you could maybe do something more with like contrast. Like maybe like this is just a thought. White pants might work. Like bright white pants, like like that would make the look more ostentatious. Right now it's very casual, but if you wanted something that's more ostentatious, like white dress pants and some really fancy shoes, would sort of bring a little bit of that like sort of like Yakuza, but in the sense of like the video games. A little bit of that style to it if you wanted something more ostentatious or extravagant. But if you want to keep it like casual and then have the axe be the big extravagant thing, then I think you're doing the right thing here. You could play around with the contrast on the pants. Like you could make them darker, you could make them lighter. You can see if some of that works. The shoes, you can coordinate also. Like you could make the shoes bright orange, for example, to work with the flames. The dark red also works for that. But there are things you could do there to sort of like if you wanted to do a little bit more with it. But as it stands, that's a really solid little... That's clever. I really like that. I really like using like a fire-themed jacket to like bridge the gap with the weapon. That's really cool. That's really cool. Anyway, what was it doing? Oh, not right. I need to talk to the jackass again.
Ah, dear Brick, good. So good of you to trouble yourself to come. Normally I might be cross, but my spirits are far too high just now. And it is you I have to thank. I speak of the data you procured. It's simply marvelous. You have a true gift for grunt work, my friend. I wish I had 100 more assistants just like you. I've been in this field for a very long time, and I have been alone. Ever since that unfortunate mulled tea fungus culture incident sparked my passion for research. I regret nothing, Brick. Save perhaps having to share so wondrous a world with souls as unlearned as yourself. Still, your performance has not left me completely bereft of joy. It is rewarding to think that my instructions has guided you to such success. There. How was that? Shall we dispense with any further pleasantries? Very good, then. I made yet another career-defining discovery while pondering which battleground to measure next. Eorzea is home to numerous locations where the ether is in an immensely chaotic state, yet which never played host to any war. My hypothesis was that such a flux in the ether was indicative of a past battle, and all my research was predicated upon this. But turn the theory on its head, Brick, if your mind is able. What if the people of the past chose areas of roiling ether to hold their battles? I have already sent the simpleton monk to take measurements at the fire sandbanks. As you are doubtless aware, this lies on the border between Alamigo and Gridania. It was the stage of the Autumn War. I ask that you find our monk friend and collect his etherometer. Manual and tedious, yes, but he has an early make of the device that is unable to transmit data. I gather the numbskull is in Little Alamiga and southern Thanalan by this time. You think I ask too much of you? False! I ask more! Your other task is to travel to Snakemolt in the South Shroud and there take measurements with your own etherometer. I will continue with my research here in your absence. Mind you, if you care to know aught at all about the Autumn War and the fine sand banks upon which it was fought, I will gladly enlighten you. You need only ask. Against my better judgment. Ah, an honest inquiry. That sad, wonderful moment when ignorant curiosity overcomes pride. Right then, let us begin. Oh no. I'm very sorry, chat. I'm sorry, Jane. I need hardly mention that Sildin civilization is now centuries dead. Sildin was plunged into chaos in the wake of King Lalawefu's demise, or King of Springs as he was known. Despite the success of his economic reforms, the tax increases he imposed did not sit well with his subjects. This, coupled with a prolonged sequence of untimely droughts, fomented unrest among the people and in time sparked violent unrest throughout the kingdom. Sildin was not alone in its want for water. Uldar too felt the effects of droughts. The Sultan at the time, Sasagan ul Zizigan, but perhaps you recognize the Ul name, the current Sultana, Nanamo Ulnat.
I see you haven't heard. Whoopsie doopsie, we traveled back in time.
Represents the second Ul dynasty. She's Sasagan's distant descendant. Now, where was I? Right, so, Sasagan ordered an attack on Sildin to claim the water resources discovered as a result of Lalawefu's flood control acts. But the royalty and nobility of Sildin would not remain idle. They mobilized their nation in the face of this crisis, and the people fought with great tenacity against the Uldar threat. The full strength of both nations met in battle, and the end result was an arduous, protracted conflict. Though arguably more desirable than surrender, the ruling Sildin elite took little pleasure in having succeeded in uniting the heretofore querulous citizenry to fight. For despite all that they accomplished, every day spent waging war dragged the nation's financial affairs, which you will recall had only just been brought under control, back into the mire. To bring an end to the long military deadlock, Sildin devised and set about implementing a perverse yet ambitious strategy. It sought to zombify the deceased amongst his army that they might fight again. At first, it appeared to have worked. Yet, at the height of hostilities, the Sildins lost control over their necrotic creations. The undead turned on their masters, and before long the zombification had spread to the majority of the population. Ever knowing an opportunity when they saw one, the Uldans used this to justify their war, now proclaiming it a crusade to send these zombies to Thal. After seeing to the extermination of all the zombies outside the city, they then sealed the gates of Sildin, entrapping both the living and the dead within. And that, in brief, is a history of the fall of Sildin. I only pray that your feeble mind is able to retain it. Okay. I shall tell you yet again of the study of ether. As I laboriously explained, ether is not only the source of all magics, but also the fount of all life. Yet, despite its ubiquity, it remains imperceptible to the senses of man. When a living thing dies, the ether comprising its life is released. It has been learned that when this discharge takes place, a portion of that ether remains, lingering in the physical world. No doubt you've come across ethereal crystallizations in the course of your travels. All scholars now agree that these are the physical manifestations of great concentrations of ether. I have a theory, however, that they're not the only such manifestations. Allow me to give you an example even you can understand. That of ghosts, spirits, disembodied souls. Apparitions of the deceased come back to haunt and generally unnerve us? No, false! These are nothing more than a luminescent glow of ether in the atmosphere. It is possible, though highly unlikely, as if you're asking yourself why a portion of the ether remains. Right, well, the amount of ether that can shift between the physical and ethereal realms in any given instant is limited. I call this the ethereal threshold. Any ether present in excess of that threshold is left behind. The more violent and dramatic the loss of life, the greater the amount of inner ether released to take the form of crystals, or remain perfectly imperceptibly in the atmosphere. And you surely recollect the scene I identified as the most apt to produce such violent deaths? On the field of battle. It stands to reason, therefore, that through the ethereal measurement of such sites, I will be able to reconstruct details of the wars waged upon them. And that, Brick, is why this military historian has a deeply vested interest in the subject of ether. Despite all we do know, however, many mysteries remain. The studies of ether will no doubt continue to yield fascinating and awe-inspiring discoveries for years to come, that I'm certain.
Almost there. Nearly got it.
Very well. Prepare to learn all you ever cared to and more for the land known as Bloodshore. The sanguine nomenclature derives from a truly horrific battle which took place there some 50 years ago. Two of the greatest pirate fleets of the day, the League of Lost Bastards and the followers of Ricard Misbeard, met one another at sea just off the coast. To this very day, none can say with certainty who shot first or why. Mayhap there was no good reason at all. All I know is the two pirate leaders loathed one another, and when dealing with pirates, little more than that is needed to ignite a war. By the by, it just so happens that the head of the League of Lost Bastards, one Bluffus, was father to the current Admiral Blimsolomensa. It is told that the old sea dog wished for his daughter to take command of his fleet upon his death. But that is a tale for another time. Suffice to say, a shot was fired, and the mightiest pirate armadas in the realm came to fight one another in the bloodiest naval battle of yours in history. All told, 7 galleys were sunk that day, and dozens of smaller warships. 4 of the 7 galleys went down in mere moments. When at last the smoke cleared and the cannons fell silent, hundreds lay dead on the ocean's bottom. It is said the foam of the tides was tinged red with blood for days after the battle. Bodies washed ashore for weeks to follow. So, as you can see, geography and history are inextricably linked. Regrettably, the region has been purchased by a wealthy Uldan merchant named Gigeruju. He has chosen to turn a blind eye to the land's history and has taken to calling it Costa del Sol. And I believe I'll stop there concerning Bloodshore and allow your feeble brain to process all it has heard. Last one. The fine Bangsangs have a rich history indeed. They are found on the west shores of the Veladina River, at the foot of a now extinct volcano overlooking Rothless Sound. The area is a sedimentary basin formed by the deposit of fine silt sands carried by the river. Today, it falls within Gridanian territory, but in past days it belonged to my own home nation, Alamigo. A century ago, King Manfred came to power in Alamigo and decided to expand the nation's territory in order to promote economic growth. To that end, he ordered the Alamigan army to undertake large-scale campaigns that would eventually lead to the onset of the Autumn War. Naturally, such action was met with vehement opposition from the other nations. Gridania, fearing encroachment along its border with Alamiga, placed the renowned Lancer Vainshillan in command of its standing armies, and war began. His opponent was Gilbard, the great general of Alamigo, a fervent believer in the Fist of Ralga, and a man who enjoyed enormous popularity among the Alamigan people. The two leaders were beloved by their troops, and, at the outbreak of war, morale on both sides was very high. The armies clashed in time, again, all along the border. Neither general yielding an ill, but in a galling twist of fate for Gridania, Vainshillan suddenly took deathly ill. After no victory emerged following the Battle of Finesang Banks, Vainshillan devised a new strategy. He ordered his forces to retreat to Camp 9 Ivies, fully intending for Gilbard to give chase. This would lure the Alamegans to terrain more favorable and familiar to the Gridanians. He died, however, before he was able to see his plan executed. Now, the man who would replace him, Osburn, was extremely ambitious and eager to prove his worth to the Seedseers. Having neither the mind nor patience for Vainshillan's defensive war, however, he ordered a frontal assault on the Alamegan position. When Gilbard learned of this plan, if a plan it may be called, he secretly deployed troops to the most vital points along the fine sand banks. The Gridanian forces had scarcely entered the area before they began to suffer heavy losses from highly coordinated Alamegan ambushers. In response, Osburn ordered a forced march, permitting his troops no rest for several days as he attempted to surge through the region. Eventually, exhausted, the Gridanians came to entrench themselves on a hill. But this is precisely what Gilbard had wanted. He surrounded the hill with 6,000 soldiers to deny the forest-born any hope of retrieving water, and then proceeded to rain down barrage after barrage of arrows upon the encampment. In this seemingly hopeless position, the morale of the Gridanians quickly dwindled. Following 2 failed attempts to break free, Osburn himself led the van in a third and final charge. In the end, Gridania was defeated, Osburn and several of his officers were captured, and the legendary staff Claustrum, lent to him by one of the Seedseers, was taken. This abject defeat accounted for what little morale remained among his surviving troops, and they beat a desperate retreat to 5 Hangs, with the relentless Alamegans harrying them every step of the way. Gilbard's victory brought him ever greater accolades from his country, and as a result, both he and the Fist of Ralga came to wield considerable political power. And that is a brief history of Finesang Banks. No, you needn't thank me. Knowing there is less ignorance in the world is all the reward I require.
There is a limit to how long I can do that voice at a time. Oh, good lord. Yeah, this is like exposition dump the storyline. Good grief. But is there a limit to the quiet him-bonus of Break? No, Break is very easy to voice act, fortunately. You've come far. It is good to see you, brother. You come for my etherometer. It is not ready to give. My work is not finished. I came as soon as I was told, but the readings require more time. Do not worry. They will be ready soon. You make for snake mold in the South Shroud. Eric believes the ether's strong there, yet that land hosted no great battles. He told me as much this morn. Leave me to my task here. Make for snake mold. Take your readings. My work will soon be done. I will bring the device to you. I have troubled you to come here. I will not trouble you to wait. Go. We will meet again at snake mold, brother. So the monk job quest is to endure this obnoxious scholar until you get so frustrated that you go to a monastery to become a monk? I guess, basically, yeah. It is very funny that the monk quest, like the punchy martial arts, Dragon Ball, aura, and, like, magic fist quest is one where it's like... like, oh yes, help this fucking annoying nerd do annoying nerd shit. And that will... something chakra. They had to fit all that lore somewhere. Yeah. Meanwhile, the scholar quest is we raise an army for this ancient civilization and train it properly. Come on! What's with the Dutch angle here? Well done, brother. I feel your chakra. It has grown. Again, really, like... You're like so close to the horniest pickup line I've ever heard in my life. I'd hoped to arrive before you, but I see I am late. This land's power has gone to you. There's nothing for me here. It is as I told you. We monks travel to where ether flows strong. To where ether flows strong. There we train. The power of the land enters us. Thus our chakra expand. This bonding causes great unrest. The land's energy becomes unstable. It will enter no other until it calms. Oh, so like once the land's energy has like penetrated a monk for a while, it needs some time to rest and recover before it can go again? Okay. All right, I see. I feel nothing here, as you would feel nothing at Fine Sand Banks. That land bonded to my chakra, and its ether is now at unrest. The teacher's work means nothing. I took no readings. I meant to hasten here, but I was delayed. There was a gathering of the monkhood. I was summoned to Little Alamigo. The teacher's chidings? Worry not. I will use my device here. Any result will suffice. The man has already reached his conclusion. He will twist data to fit. It is a sad existence. To sacrifice all for truth, yet be unable truly to know when one sees it. Speak not of this to him, brother. You see both our aims. You know mine to be more worthy. Post-chakra clarity. I tell this to you. You and you alone. I am of the Alamigan resistance. We fight for freedom from Garlemald. I escaped the occupation. I've come here to fight, to gather allies and weapons. But these lands sadden me. The people have forgotten. Alamigo is a distant memory. The resistance here is small. They aid where they can, but it is not enough. This war demands great power. The power lies in the chakra. The teacher is not an evil man, but he thinks only of his work, not the suffering of innocence. His knowledge can be used for good. The battlefields, they can turn the tide. The chakra of many must be opened. If this way is lost to me... No, I will have this power. I must. An end to oppression. An end to starvation. Alamigo will be made free and I will see it done. Forgive my speech. It is a matter close to my heart. I will give you my device, but I ask you say nothing of this to Eric. I beg you, brother.
I trust you've returned with both of my etherometers. Please tell me you fumbling dolts haven't managed to damage either of them this time. All looks to be in order here. These readings from your device. Oh, they look promising. Very promising indeed. I dare say this data may yield revolutionary results. Your chakra opened a bit more, did it? Yes, well, ether is a most mysterious and wonderful thing. I'm glad this meaningful research could serve your nonsensical ends as well. Now, leave me to my work. Surely you can find some simple way to pass the time. Fighting, say, or, I don't know, scratching?
Howling Fist. Ooh. So it shares a recast time with Steel Peak. Aha. Very cool.
You two played me for a fool. The data the simpleton monk brought me was absolutely astounding, groundbreaking, revolutionary. Yet, I remained objective in my analysis as a scholar must. Poring over the data, I finally arrived at a disheartening conclusion. The two of you took measurements of the same area. The values were near identical. Equivalence was mocking me as I struggled to reconcile them. I could neither sleep nor eat lest I waste time not drawing nearer to the truth. And for what? Tell me, what is it you two were doing in the field? Not this bloody chakra nonsense again. How many times?
Bezos money.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for the Bezos money, Ashant.
How many times must I tell you? It is naught but imperceptible ether. Call it what it is. And to think I had a mind to put your names under mine when the hypothesis was published. This life force, this spiritual energy, this God's forsaken eternal soul essence, I care not what primitive nomenclature those backward monks wish to assign to it. It is ether. Plain and simple. They claim they're able to manipulate and amplify it through discipline and the opening of the so-called chakra. False! This is nothing more than the ethereal regulation of organisms, a basic and natural concept. In an attempt to explain that which science does not yet fully understand, the monks have erected an institution of control. Their preachings are unassailable by design. For none can disprove the existence of the unknowable. They promise power in return for abjection and servitude. Control and power, indeed. Only that of man. It is the very essence of a religion and should be treated with contempt, as all religions should.
Wow, okay. A little bit of politics snuck in here. A little bit of ideology. Just a bit. Wow, okay. Interesting that he should have such strong opinions on that. And that's a... Well, no, actually, Meganova. He's not a literal Reddit atheist. Because his analysis is more complicated than just religion bad. His analysis is actually kind of materialist. Like, what he points out is that the monks they have developed a method for interacting with ether, right? Like they've developed a discipline that allows them to channel it and use it the same way that, for example, mages do. But in order to access those teachings, in order to access that knowledge, they demand fealty to the order of the monks, right? Like they demand fealty to a certain set of disciplines and philosophies, order and control, as he points out. And that's not strictly a invalid critique of religious practice. It's a critique that has been leveled at several kinds of religion. Like, for example, Buddhism has been criticized in this way, that Buddhism offers a lot of like social services and spiritual services to its adherents, but it is only willing to extend the benefit of its generosity. And it depends, like Buddhism, of course, is a very big, broad philosophical, but I'm talking about institutionalized Buddhism in certain nations want to lock away the benefits, spiritual and material, of their institutions behind a demand for fealty. Like, you must become adherent to this religion before we will offer the benefits of what the religion means. The same thing goes for Catholicism, right? Like the way that offering people healthcare, medicine. This is something that happened in Ireland, actually. This is actually an interesting part of Irish history, is that in Ireland, especially like around the conflict zones, there is a saying called taking the soup, right? And what that means is that back during the potato famine, which was created by English imperialism, like this man-made famine that was absolutely devastating Ireland, some of the government in Westminster were finally convinced to do something to help the people who were fucking starving to death, right? And what they did was they established workhouses. And in order to get to the workhouse, where you would be given at best like really shitty soup, like really just watery gruel soup that barely kept you alive, in return for that, you were expected to convert from Catholicism to Protestantism. You were expected to change your name and become a Protestant. In return for the benefits of that institutional power, which it was just barely enough food to survive, you were asked to submit to the control of the Church of England, which was like a big deal. So like his observation there is not like, it's a thing that's applicable to real world situations as well. Anyway.
Ether resides in all living things, as do natural mechanisms with the capacity to regulate it. This is simply life, not some mystical supernatural endowment. I concede, of course, that the heightened mental faculties of man allow for the potential to gain conscious control over those mechanisms. Indeed, it would appear that you and that simpleton monk have already achieved that end. That indiscretion and impertinence of youth. I suppose it can be forgiven. Once. In my own youth, I was not the model of perfection you see before you. I, too, have made what some might call mistakes. Not myself, but some. In our talks together, the simple-tongued monk often spoke of the 7th chakra. Its awakening is thought to be the highest achievement among the monkhood. I make it the habit to know the tenets of my intellectual enemies. It was the flow of ether within the two of you which betrayed your falsehood, the whispering of your chakra, as I'm sure the monks would rush to call it. But serendipity often visits the most industrious. Just so, it is precisely these ethereal whispers that prove to be the most intriguing. The waves of these sounds resonated perfectly with the ether of the battleground.
I can see by your vapid expression that you're missing my point.
Allow me to spell it out. It follows that if one were to visit a battlefield with a certain ethereal wave amplitude and frequency, it would resonate with one's own ether. This is the phenomenon responsible for the initial opening of your own chakra. Ugh, I cannot believe I'm being reduced to speaking in these terms. It stands to reason that for any ethereal wave, there may be a location that will resonate with it. Think of the implications, Brick. If the 7th chakra the monks speak of truly exists, then so too must an ultimate battleground to bond with it. The concentration of ether in such a place would be unlike anything ever recorded. I forgive your past treachery. Guide me as it did to this great discovery. That, and I need you to do more work for me. Here, take this new etherometer. Make for Locke's Call in the East Shroud. My research indicates it is a very promising tract indeed. Set up the etherometers you've done in the past, and then kill whatever you must to obtain a strong reading. Slaying beasts there will release the ether of the land they are steeped in, and it may then resonate with your own. I suppose in the primitive terms of the monkhood, it would translate into the expansion of your chakra. Oh, and you'll not be crossing paths with the simpleton monk this time. I'll be sending him to take readings at East End. I have no intentions of allowing you two to conspire to impede my research again. If you care to know more about the events that have transpired at Locke's Call, I suggest you pay a visit to your local library. East End, on the other hand, is a fascinating subject of which I never tire speaking. Ask me about it any time if your curiosity ever gets the better of you. Okay. East End is just that, the eastern end of the Black Shroud. The Autumn War marked the beginning of hostilities between Alamigo and Gridania. The first major victory in that war came at the First Battle of Tinolqa? And it belonged to Alamigo. Defeated, the Gridanians retreated to the safety of 5 hangs. The front was splintered, and afterward they were to resort to opportunistic ambushes and the constant redeployment of troops to continue their resistance. The Alamegans, confident of ultimate victory, enjoined Gridania to surrender.
As conditions, they demanded that all of the east and portions of the central shroud should be relinquished, and perhaps, more disturbingly, that the seed seers should be taken as wards of Alamigo, where they would be met with no harm. Needless to say, Gridania refused. Providence was to be delivered to the Forestborn by the neighboring nation of Ishgard. Wary of Alamigo's ambitions for the region, the sea appealed to Limsa and Uldar for aid. The three joined Gridania in her declaration of war against Alamigo and sent troops to reinforce the front. But this was far from a gesture of charity. It's easy to see what the motives of the sea were. Should certain sections of the Black Shroud be annexed to Alamigo, Ishgard's southern and eastern borders would become extremely vulnerable to a possible invasion. For their part, Limsa and Uldar had virtually nothing to lose by entering into the war, and yet everything to gain by curbing the power of Alamigo in the realm. Even more, victory would place Gridania in their debt. And so it came to pass that these four great nations joined into a grand alliance to combat the advance of Alamigo. The fighting, which was to follow, would later be named the Second Battle of Tinolqa. The heaviest and most devastating combat took place on a tract of land called East End. In the beginning, there were several small-scale skirmishes, but the Allied powers succeeded in foiling the stratagems of Alamigo at every turn. Feeling the tide begin to turn against them, Alamigo dispatched its pikemen, known far and wide for their effectiveness against mounted units, such as the Knights of Ishgard. To rally the troops, even more, King Manfred himself took to the field to lead them. At first, it seemed as though Alamigo had succeeded in reversing its fortune, as the Allies began a slow retreat towards East End. This was a clever ploy, however, designed to lure the pikemen into the dense growth of the forest, where their long polearms would be unwieldy and near useless. It was during these days that the archers of Gridania would prove their value beyond the bow, singing songs of heroism and glory in the field to bolster allied troops. It is said that this gave birth to the bard tradition. The archers of Gridania excelled at combat in the dense vegetation of the Black Shroud, and their arrows inflicted heavy casualties on the Alamegans. In the end, General Gilbard was slain, King Manfred severely wounded, and Alamigo completely and utterly defeated. And that is a brief summation of the history of the East End, the site of the end of the forest and at the end of the war both. Do you know, I can almost feel you getting less stupid, Brick. That is actually very interesting. Like, it's genuinely very interesting history. It's just, boy, what a spokesperson for it. I see people are discussing the theology of Gridania in the chat. Oh yes, what the I know exactly how long I've been streaming, but because these are mostly just... Oh, hello. I see you're all just hanging... Oh, hey. Is that a fucking assault rifle? Oh, no, it's... Oh, I see. It's like, it's a... Oh, it's like a machine pistol, but like with a stock and an extended barrel. It's not quite a Mauser. I wouldn't call that a Mauser exactly. It's like a similar construction-ish, but not, you know, not fully. But and that's more like a fucking Helsing pistol. It's like expecting Alucard. Someone must have done an Alucard cosplay. You must be able to get like a big hat, right, and a coat, and like paint them red. That must be possible, surely. Okay, that... okay, okay, hello. Like, the booty shorts are a good look. Oh, hey. Oh, that's very Halloween. That goes well with the name, Flamestorm. And then, like, dragon heads for punching implements. That's good. Anyway, need to get a lecture. I very much look forward to the readings of both you and Widagel's Aetherometers. Oh, since you already come finished, then what are you standing there for? Come, give me the Aetherometer. Amazing, simply amazing. And your soul crystal is glowing more vibrantly than ever before, is it not? I will begin my analysis with the data with all haste. You've come to be quite the model pupil, Brick. Would that I could say the same of the monk, simpleton.
I can see the feeble gears turning in your mind. Come, there's no need to feel shame at your ignorance. If you wish to know what has transpired, you need only ask. I promise to use small words. The simpleton monk asked that I send you his way, should I see you. He waits for you at Little Alamigo in southern Thanalan. Surely you see Widagalt for the danger that he is. His is the most dangerous type of mind. One blinded by revolution and revenge. I do wish you'd tell him yourself that people should live for the future rather than the past. You thought I did not know he was of the Alamigan resistance. How saddening it is on the rare occasion you do trouble yourself to think you are wrong. Of course I know. What manner of imbecile do you take me for? No doubt Widagalt thinks me the idiot. False! These two eyes see far more than you know. I, too, am an Alamigan and love my homeland every bit as much as he. Go now, hurry to Little Alamigo. I will keep you no longer. No doubt Widagalt is already awaiting your arrival.
I will say, I kind of do want those booty shorts for Brick. I wouldn't mind those booty shorts specifically for the monk job. Like, I feel like sort of like big Catman and slutty booty shorts and like something flowery on the top would make a good, like, punch boy outfit.
You spoke to Eric. Do not lie to me, brother. You told him who I am, what I seek to do. I am not angered. He tried to sway me from my path. He believes resistance will only leave more dead. I expected as much from him. I feigned understanding. He asked much of me, of the monkhood and the fist. He asked of the seventh chakra. My answers excited him. He said they would advance his studies. I too learned from him. I am near the seventh chakra now. Soon, the resistance will rise. You too will see. Very soon.
So, by the way, in terms of the writing of these characters, Eric and Vidar-Gelt, like, they're establishing the difference that Vidar-Gelt always speaks in declaratives, right? Like, he almost always speaks in declarations, right? Soon the resistance will rise, you too will see, you spoke to me of Eric. Like he always speaks in declaratives and with certainty. And he speaks in very short, stiff sentences, right? Whereas Eric goes on and on and on and on and on, and Eric, like, he doesn't speak in declaratives, but he does speak in conclusions, right?
Others do not understand. Alamigo tried to protect them. We were the shield of the realm. We bled to fend off Garlemald. None here know our suffering. None here can imagine it. The lives we led after the fall, after the shield was sundered. I have traveled far and wide. I have met many souls, but none are as you. You have a gift.
Yeah, it's called being the main character of reality.
Yours is a great strength. Unite it to ours, brother. Help us reclaim our home. Your efforts will be rewarded. Look upon my garments. This is the war garb of the monkhood. It attunes to the wearer's chakra, enables it to reach its fullest expression. The cloth is imbued with the power of Ralgar. Only monks of his fist may don it. Only those who overcome many trials. I will tell you how it can be yours. Fear not, I require you to speak no vows. I only ask that you fight for us. Give yourself to our cause. You long for adventure, I understand, but such longings can wait. This cannot. See Alamigo freed, then enjoy your own freedoms. What say you, brother?
No.
Your decision saddens me, but know that my offer stands. I pray you change your mind.
I get the sense of, like, I don't know that I feel a lot of agency as a player here. Just bear with me for a second. So I'm curious. I would be very curious if there is a thing, like there is in past Final Fantasy games, every once in a while, they have the thing of like, where there is this thing, like there's a prompt where you can't answer the wrong thing. If you answer the wrong thing, they just ask you again, right? But if you answer the wrong thing deliberately, like 64 or 100 times, it will do a little joke at you. Yeah, I know I can, like... Oh, shit, I can't, actually. Escape doesn't work either. I can't get away. I'm trapped. Fine.
You have the heart of a true monk.
I was trying to say no, you jackass.
You are different from the others in this realm. Hear this. A set of our war garb was stolen. The Fist has tracked the bandits. We know now where the three of the relics are. Here in southern Thanalan, the Sepulchre and the Circle of the Tempered. And in northern Thanalan, the abandoned Amagina Mithril Mine. Your soul crystal will react to the relics. Draw near them, and they will glow. By this power, you will find them. The Fist's honor has been trampled upon. Make the heretics you find pay for their sins. Eric has sold his soul to this land, but he's a knowledgeable man. He knows more than I of the monkhood, and of the Fist. Speak with him if you would know more of our way. The man revels in hearing himself speak. I await the day we fight side by side, brother. Go now, and go well.
So what you're telling me is that I can go back to Thanalan right now and do more dialogue with Eric? How could I possibly resist? In fact, I'm kidding. I'm actually genuinely kind of curious. Hey, Omega Shivo Token. Thank you for that subscription. That's very kind of you. Ooh, hello.
The monks and the Fist of Ralgar are interesting in the same way as any other organized religion. A sad, pathetic, and humorous way. The brothers and sisters in the monkhood are those souls training in the service of Ralgar, god of destruction among the 12. The Fist of Ralgar is their order.
Oh, you mean go back to Ul'dah? You were in Thanalan. Yes, I know Ul'dah, but whatever. Places, names, I don't care. Geography. I'm too stupid for geography. Haven't you been listening to Eric?
This barbaric cult traces its origins back several centuries to Alamigo. That simpleton Widdergold is one of their number. The Fist teaches those foolish enough to listen that through rigorous training of the mind and body and with constant invigoration and refinement, one can approach the sublimity of Ralgar himself. Such is their power of concentration that they are able to master ether within their bodies and channel it in a manner that grants them immense destructive power. The monkhood insists on calling this internal essence spiritual energy or life force, but trust me when I say it is nothing more than ether. Endowed with this brutish, unthinking gift for hitting things very hard, the entire cult has evolved into a sort of clergy with martial proclivities. This was no doubt the result of their main temple being located in Girabania, a region plagued by warfare where knowing how to protect oneself is essential. As the years passed, however, what began as a simple group of religious fanatics fighting to protect themselves grew into an ambitious organization of religious fanatics taking part in the region's power struggle. Those in power in Alamiga grew wary of these war priests who proclaimed all their fights to be fought in the name of a god and who employed deadly force without the slightest hesitation. And so, rather than make enemies of the monks, they decided instead to use them to their benefit. Through affiliation with the Alamigan royal family, the Fist of Ralgar was incorporated into the nation's standing army. This not only granted the monks a great deal of power, but furnished them with all the rights accorded protectors of the citizenry, and their political influence was still growing. I confess I find great joy in studying the demise of religion, and even greater joy in recounting it. The power of the Fist of Ralgar grew unchecked in Alamiga, and it was eventually named the state religion. After this, its influence over political, economic, and cultural spheres of life became even more considerable. Needless to say, this did not sit well with one and all. Among them was the last and most ugsome of Alamigan royalty, the King of Ruin, Theodoric. The rise of the Fist meant a potential rival for power, and he would not suffer the monkhood to encroach on his prerogatives. To counter their claim of religious righteousness, he simply conjured his own out of thin ether, proclaiming that the throne was his by divine right given to him by the word of Nymea herself, Master of Ralgar. He then banned the worship and likeness of Ralgar and all other gods and demanded that the prayers and praises of Alamigo be given to Nymea and her alone. In doing so, he sought to establish his own absolute, uncontested rule.
Naturally, the fist and the worshippers of Rhalgr throughout the nation rose in protest, precisely as Theodoric had known they would. He used the uprisings as a pretext to imprison several high-ranking monks, whom he then tortured until they confessed their order's plans to topple his rule. In 1552, of the 6th Astral Era, Theodoric led a vast army to the site of the monkhood's main temple and surrounded it. Monks, novices, and devotees, including the elders, refugees seeking shelter after the fire of war had turned their homes to ash, servants and peasants hired to do little more than till the fields. None were left alive. The monks fought heroically, but were hopelessly outnumbered. With the massacre of that day, nearly all of the monkhood perished. The elders, the keeper of the tradition and its knowledge, resided within the temple grounds. It was thought that all versed in the ways of chakra were lost. But then, what of this weird Argyll simpleton? Just who is he? Perhaps the end of the fist was not the end of the monks, after all.
Good questions.
You have returned. The first 3 relics are yours, and now the fist has located the 4th. There's a Kikian merchant who deals in contraband. The 4th relic is among his wares. Hurry to Lower Anasia. Find this Kikian. Take back that which is now yours by right.
Let's go rob a guy! Hey dude, I'd like to rob you.
Stinky Rothka, come to stop Kikiron's business, come to take shinies. Kill him! Kill the Stinky! Don't kill Kikiron! Please don't kill! Take back Monk Circle! Take and spare!
No. Brick is not a musky himbo. Come on, like he's not like that kind of. He's not that kind of bar. He's not musky. He has like a very particular personal grooming routine. He always smells faintly of some sweet spice or something. Not a sweat.
The 4th relic is now yours. You've done well, brother. But know this, there is another relic, a 5th and final piece. It will be yours, a gift from brother to brother, given on the day El Amigo stands free once more. That day is near. Eric sent word not long ago. He claims his revolution has begun as well. He has made a grand discovery, and is now setting it to paper. I will look forward to his work. With it, we will know we all must. The day he finishes will be the day El Amigo is reborn. Return to him now, brother. Ask for yourself when that day will be. May Rhalgr watch over you.
Hey guys. I know I say it a lot, but I really do appreciate you all just hanging out. And doing Well, hello. I cannot believe Square Enix added a fucking puppy mask. I genuinely can't. Okay, the sunglasses. The big, chunky 80s sunglasses. They're a good touch. They're a really good touch. Oh, they're a really good touch. Oh, you can put them up. That's nice. They're a really good touch. I like that. Yeah. No, that's good. Ma'am. That's good. All classes are magic technically. Yeah, I know. There are certain quests and stories that require doing one of each class type. Oh, no. Okay, I guess I'll have to go through that at some point.
I'm afraid I haven't time for you now, Brick. I am penning my thesis based on the ethereal data you and the simpleton collected. There have been significant developments since last we spoke, or rather since last I spoke, and you stood before me with that ever-vapid expression. Soon, I will complete my work and present it at a conference of my peers. Surely you can pass the time until then, punching and kicking and pursuing other monkly interests, yes? Go do that then. My theory is correct. Correct, I tell you! This will be the greatest academic breakthrough of my lifetime. Perhaps of all lifetimes. I shall spare you the details of my experiment, as you are not like to comprehend their significance anyway, and proceed directly to the all-important conclusion. The announcement of my theory before a council of my peers was met with thunderous applause. And to think, I owe it all to a vacant-eyed adventurer and a simpleton monk. Both you and the Pugilist guilds that send you are due a debt of gratitude. Speaking of the monk, where in Eorzea has that semi-literate oaf wandered off to? I took note of his attendance among the spectators of the conference, but he is yet to present himself and offer his congratulations.
Oh!
What have I done? Oh, Brick, I fear the words I have offered may have driven Whittergill to attempt the insane. I analyzed the ethereal waves of your bodies second by second. I was able to isolate and identify those of the final ethereal regulation mechanism, the so-called 7th chakra. From that, I was able to find the land which was most likely to resonate with those waves. Silvertear Falls. I went to the site myself to investigate. It was there that I made my great discovery, the discovery of the century. It occurs to me that you shall never accomplish such a feat of the mind, Brick, and I find myself pitying you. But I digress. Do you not see what I've done, Brick? I told him precisely where he must go to unlock the 7th chakra. He has given his life to the fight to reclaim Alamiga from the Empire. More than anything, he desires the power needed to achieve that end, the power to combat the might of all Garlemald. Any fool can see that, well, almost any fool can see that he imagines the 7th chakra to be that power. Yet battling the Empire on such terms will only result in another tragedy like that which befell Alamigo. I pray you do not mean to follow him in this fool's crusade. He has gone to Silvertear Falls in Mordona. I'm certain of it. You must go, Brick. You must stop him. My words will not sway him, just as they could not sway my son. Perhaps yours will.
Did Eric just reveal a little bit of himself there? His son, you say?
Oh, my dear poor Brick, what you do not know about Silvertear Falls could fill a book, and has, multiple times over, I'm sure. Since ancient times, the falls and the region of Mordona in which they are located have been believed to be the seat of a great spiritual energy, as less advanced people will want to call it. So old are these beliefs that the tomb of Zande himself, the first emperor of Alag, was built deep beneath the surface of Mordona in the hope that the mystical power which resided under the lake would raise him from the dead. Oh, there are any number of legends and myths surrounding the place. I think the oldest and most widely known would be that of the Dragon of the Falls. I do not claim to be a folklorist, but I can certainly provide the general tale. There was the birth of Althig, god of time among the 12, and in turn his younger sister Nymea, goddess of fate. Then there was water, and through it the Silvertear Falls came to be the center of all that was. Here was the source not only of water, but the fount of all magic as well. Now, when water came into being, so too did the great dragon Midgard's Ormr. Brother Time and Sister Fate, fearing the falls might fall into the hands of evil, ordered Midgard's Ormr their protector and warden. Much later, with the arrival of man, would Midgard's Ormr be worshipped as the guardian deity of Silvertear Falls. Have you been to Silvertear Falls, Brick, or are you as untraveled as you are unread? Have you gazed upon the enormous dragon corpse frozen as a statue with wings outspread? If you have gazed upon Midgard's Ormr. That tragedy is but 10 years old. After invading my home of Alamigo, the Garleans launched a fleet of airship led by the monstrosity Acreus. They flew for Silvertear Falls, knowing them to harbor the greatest concentration of ether. And then, those horrific instruments of evil loomed overhead, casting the dark shadow of death. The surface of the lake suddenly parted and burst skywards as Midgard's Ormr emerged to defend his waters. The battle between Midgard's Ormr and Agrius has since come to be known as the Battle of Silvertear Skies. The dragon fought with divine strength and purpose, and after a fierce and grueling struggle, succeeded in bringing down the airship. As it fell into the lake, the impact caused the ceruleum on board to detonate, and Midgard's Ormr was killed, his corpse charred black in the conflagration. Well, not that killed, as it turns out. The structure, formed by the wreckage of the Acreus and the entangled remains of Midgard's Ormr, is now called the Keeper of the Lake. For many religious and mythological enthusiasts, it stands as proof of the existence of the gods. For most people, however, it serves as a grim reminder of the horrific, dare I say, deicidal power of Garlemald. Why did that dragon appear that day? Was it truly the Midgard's Ormr, the legendary guardian of Silvertear Falls? Such questions and more remain unanswered. For my part, I make the entire debacle for an elaborate Garlean fabrication acted out to near perfection. But let us put aside dragons and empires and speak instead of mine own latest discovery of the lake. The ether of the area is in an extremely chaotic state. I'd long thought this to be the result of the Battle of Silvertear Skies, but I've learned that this is not the case. The disturbances I have observed do not all derive from a single source. Beyond the imperceptible ether emitted by the Keeper of the Lake, are even stronger ethereal waves coming from deep below the earth to the east.
I studied them in great detail and learned that they are coming from a massive tower that was buried deep below the earth at the time of that battle. The Crystal Tower. To think I had stumbled upon this legendary structure, the very height of Allagan civilization and technology. Yeah, no, I've heard of it. I've been inside. The shifting and grinding of the earth caused by the calamity woke the tower from its slumber of some 5,000 years. And, having since slowly risen from its earthen tomb, the tower pierces the skies once more. You must someday gaze upon it with your own eyes. I'm familiar. It is truly a sight to behold. Yes, I can still recall the thunderous applause of my colleagues when I presented my theory of the tower. They were a great deal more grateful than you, that much is certain. There's a team of scholars who specialize in the study of all things Allagan. They're known as the Sons of St. Koinak. At present, they are focusing their efforts on testing the validity of this theory. I very much look forward to news of their findings. I could tell you all kinds of things. Boy, the things that I could tell you, the things that you don't know about the Crystal Tower could fill a book. But yeah, I do like that he's a Midgard's armor truther. He's like, no, it was just a coincidence that a dragon flew out of the lake.
You claim the power of Garlemald. Fools! Power outside your own cannot be trusted. You had no hope of defeating me.
Gotta say, I'm not inclined to have a lot of sympathy for the Imperial soldiers, all things considered.
The seventh chakra swells within me. Soon it will be open. When it does, the Empire will burn. The power of Magitech, the power of Garlemald. They are nothing. Alamigo fell to these.
Ah, brother, you are late. But perhaps that is best. I've just attended our Gallian guests. I wanted us to be alone. Again, he's hitting on me, Jesus!
Eric was right. This is the place. You have come. Our chakra beat as drums. Do you not feel it, brother? Living in constant fear of death, struggling to stay warm enough to sleep, eating crumbs to fight hunger. Garlemald took everything from Alamigo. They left us nothing, not even our pride. Look to the craven teacher. He is proof of the truth I speak. I will reclaim it. All of it. But I need great power to do so. That power rests in the seventh chakra. I made you a promise. I have not forgotten. The fifth and final piece. It is yours to claim. But only if you defeat me. I told you when we first met. We monks seek sacred ground. There we train. That is how the chakra is opened. The teacher told me himself, this is where the seventh chakra opens. This is my sacred battleground. The ground of battle between you and me. Your strength has peaked. Through it, mine will grow. Do not despair. Your death will have purpose. It will be for Alamigo. Rejoice, brother. You shall die a martyr. So close. Why will you not yield your power for the greater good? Stay back. This power is mine. You're not even that powerful, my dude. The others of Eorzea ignore our suffering. Why should I care for their lives? Why should I care for yours? I must have that power. I must protect my people. Rick, that power.
That light. Never have I seen anything like it. Is this the opening of the 7th chakra? Fascinating. Simply fascinating. Oh, you have no mind for study, but your gift for field work is extraordinary indeed.
Oh, why? Why did you strike me?
Silence, you bloody fool! You oaf! You idiot! I would strike you 1,000 times more if it did not pain my hand so. Next time I shall bring a stick! Bugger opening your infernal chakra and open your bloody ears for once!
Sid Garland of the ironworks that bear his name once wrote that these silver tier falls lie at the center of our world. Our world is round, and we live on its surface. Even you should see, then, that he did not speak of a center in the physical sense. I'm no astrologian or biologist, but I've studied enough of the various sciences to say this. The vital energy of Heidelin, that which is called ether, is one and the same as the life force in which you monks believe. As the center of our world, these silver tier falls are connected to what you call chakra in an inexplicably profound way.
Eric demolishing flat Heidelin theory.
We all share in the same existence. We are neither separate nor distinct from the world. Our energy and its energy are one. At times, that energy may wreak havoc and destruction, but it plays a far grander and more significant role. To bring forth life. As part of this world, you must endeavor to do the same, so let's all fuck!
Seriously, this is so very gay. Holy shit.
You sought only to gain power by force. In that, you are truly no different than the very Garleans you seek to destroy. Is that what you truly wish to be?
I mean, the key difference, Eric, like the difference that is very important here, the difference that does matter a little bit, a little tiny, a lot, oh boy, a whole lot, is that he's part of a colonized minority that's being violently oppressed by an imperial invader. So, like, it's not quite the same thing to resist oppression with violence as it is to oppress. Like, those are not equivalent. It's not quite the same thing, but okay.
You speak such pretty words, but would you speak them to our people? To every soul who has suffered? To children with empty bellies? To wives made widows?
I would. To every last soul among them. Even if they fail to grasp their meaning, as you do now, I would and I will speak those words until they are understood. Long have I studied the history of this realm's wars. If there's aught I have learned, it is that there is no future for Eorzea should her people struggle and vie for power without considering the consequences of their doing so. With great power comes great responsibility.
Spider-Man swinging by in the background.
To seize the former and deny the latter is to beget despair. The duty we owe to one another and to this world as part of it is to use what power we possess to deliver a future full of life, not death.
Can you truly not see the right in this? Eric, your breeding kink is showing.
You've done the realm, indeed the world, a great service, Brick. As a scholar, as a teacher, as an Alamegan, as a man, I offer you my deepest thanks.
Hey, chakras. Chakras opening up, chakras doing things. Chakra, chakra, chakra. Not long ago, I spoke with a man, an Alamegan. He too was of the resistance. He asked me a simple question. Why do I fight? I did not hesitate. I did not think. The word came of its own will. Revenge. He said revenge is in all our hearts. That is the most common of reasons, the easiest, and the most dangerous. I did not think on it then. Perhaps now I should. I thought of nothing else. But you thought of me, brother. You and the teacher. For that I thank you both. Okay, again? This is not getting... It's not getting less gay. Was this intentional? They come on. Really? Okay. I made a promise. I will keep it. The fifth piece is yours. It is meant for you, for one whose seventh chakra is open. Alamigo fought to protect itself, to protect all of Eorzea from Empire. And yet we are despised, ignored. Worse, we are forgotten. Even so, the teacher preached peace. For a long time, I did not understand. I hated him for it. We Alamegans are a proud people. This pride is strong in me, and in the teacher, as it was in his son. He fought in the resistance, yet it cost him his life. He too cursed his father for being a coward. I thought so. I wish I could speak to him. I wish to tell him this is not so. Farewell, brother. May Ralga watch over you. Okay, then.
Hooray!
This concludes the Monk quest for Final Fantasy XIV Realm Reborn. In order to undertake the next series of quests, you must first meet the following requirements. You must have completed the main scenario before the dawn. Once you've done so, Monk quest will be available from Eric. Okay. There we go. Got that out of the way. That only took a while. But that finishes up the Pugilist and Monk quests at long last. Hi, sorry, I'm just going to interrupt the game for a second here to tell you that Jane, my lovely editor who makes these episodes so nice, has written a book with their wife Laura Kate Dale called Who Hunts the Whale. It's a satirical novel about working in the games industry, exploring the absurd realities of working in AAA games development, the strange and disheartening issues that burn people out, and even what might possibly be done about them. It comes out on February 16th, and if you need something to read, hey, I recommend it. Anyway, back to Eorzea. That, I think, having completed finally the Monk quest of the thing I started so very long ago, makes a good stopping point for an episode. Jane, sorry for all the extra footage you're going to have to edit for this one. You can compress it as much as you want. But yeah, if you've enjoyed hanging out in the world of Final Fantasy XIV with me, you can hit the like, comment, and/or subscribe buttons down below. That'll let you know when new episodes are coming out. If you want to see the episodes early, become a member of the channel, because that gives you early access. If you want to watch these episodes being recorded live, head on over to Twitch, and if you want to see all of the VODs of all of the in-between recording stuff that happens on the streams, you can become a subscriber to the Twitch channel. That is all of the self-promotion. Thank you very much for watching. Remember to be kind to one another, have solidarity with those who are worse off than yourselves, and may the tides of history wash gently over us all.